first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use pen tool, right? Because pen tool is really powerful. It's one of the most intimidating tools in Photoshop. I didn't properly use pen tool probably up until a year ago. I was actually teaching about pen tool in class to my students, and I had learned how to do something, and like once again, no internet, nothing. I never even thought to Google it, even if I had access to it, and I was surprised by it. But it definitely improved my game a lot, like a lot. If you can master pen tool, you can also go to other things as well. But we'll start with that. So pen tool is like a selection tool almost. So pen tool, if you look at your selection tool, the marquee tool, you can make selections. They can be circles, they can be squares, rectangles, ovals, but they can only be square, circle, oval, or rectangle. Think of your marquee tool like a highlighting of a text in Word. Whatever I highlight, all right? So with this tag, whatever I select, so you see those little ants, well, we call them the dotted ants, that's your selection. So like if I go up here to the marquee tool, let's just go square, all right? Rectangular marquee. Now I can make a selection, right? And now if I use my standard shortcuts, Control C, which is copy, all right, we'll hide these and then paste. It only pasted my selection, and that's what marquee tool does. It allows you to make selections. Pen tool, now what about selections where there's not straight lines, like this, for example, where I had to go in and I had to cut out. So everything you see that's a checkerboard is transparent, meaning there's nothing behind it. I had to go in and cut this all out around these edges, and they're not straight. There's no straight edges in this guy at all. So that's where pen tool comes in. Pen tool is really handy. So if you hit the P key, you'll go to pen tool, or over here it looks like a little like fountain pen, and it makes them change paths or shapes. So pen tool is very much, you drop these anchors and those are your selection points, and then you can move the anchors and such. It's actually pretty cool. But what we're going to do is, for this tutorial, right, we're going to cut out the goggles from the helmet and make them their own layer, because in this poster, for example, I did this a couple days ago. The word is behind some of the elements. So if you look here, the word phantom is behind the goggles, but it's above the person in the layer order. I mean, it's on top. And then like if I turn off, for example, the left goggle, you'll see the text appear, because the left goggle is actually on top of the text layer, and that's what gives it that effect. So like you see how it goes under the goggles, but then it goes like over the antenna, or like the E is like behind it. That's all like layering, and that's what gives a flat image some depth. Makes it kind of like pop more without getting too drastic with effects or clutter. When I was younger with pen tool was you zoom in really far, right? You zoom in super high, and then you just go crazy with anchor points, because if you do that, you can see that's not straight at all. Yeah, not straight. You can see that's not like rounded at all. Make selection, not gonna feather it, but you see how. Now let's look at 100% zoom. So this is what the image is like at normal size. That looks round. In fact, you could say it is round, because more anchor points, more resolution. Think of it like pixels. And that's what I would do. If I had a circle and I had to cut it out, I would zoom in super high and just trace the pixels, because pixels are squares. So if you just go around the pixels, you get close enough, you're going to make a circle. Whoever says you can't square a circle has never used pen tool. Find yourself a good zoom level to where you can see the pixels kind of, but it's not like totally handicapping you. And then just start placing your anchor points. So I got my first anchor point, and you can see there's a little turn here. This is now this is like kind of a bad turn to explain it on, but I'll show it on the next turn as well. Basically, think of this. Also, when you place an anchor point, if you hold control and it goes blue like that, you hold control and you click, you can then reposition that anchor point. So I want it there. Now, think of this like a racetrack, and this is the turn. You got the start of the turn, you got the end of the turn. In the middle, where the corner is, that's called your apex. So when you're making a curved line, you want to go to the beginning of the turn, and then you want to click the end of the turn. And now you want to click the apex of the turn, right? And then hold Command or Control, and as you're holding Command, you just drag it in, and it'll round out the line for you. So if you look, so don't pay attention to these lines, just follow that line. See? Now we're pretty good there. Now we're going to go to this next one. This one should be the interesting one. So you can see it kind of goes like this and comes over here. We can try the apex thing on this one, but we're gonna have to use the other method. So let's go to the end of the turn. Bam. And now apex is right about here, and then drag out. Now this is what I'm talking about. You might need to do something extra. These little things here, these wings, if you hold Command and drag those up, down, left, right, you can sort of redo the bend to where it's more towards what you're looking for. So like, there we go. And it's not going to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it to be as nice as, you probably can make it. So see how I just did that? I just placed multiple anchor points to try to correct it, and that's fine. So like I might put another one there, just because sometimes I don't like the way the curves look, so I'll do that, right? Okay, so now we're back down here. And also, I like to do things like that to where I can I kind of like mess with the points a little bit, because you can definitely, you don't want to go crazy with the points because you can oversaturate it with anchors, and then your lines are not going to look naturally rounded. And by naturally rounded, I mean you might get stuff like this to where it goes like a sharp, and that's fine if it's something like we're doing, where you're not going to be like zoomed in far. But if you were doing like a flat image with like color or text, you wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, these lines don't need to be as clean when you're working in larger resolutions or images with subjects, because the focus isn't necessary. When you're doing the undo, if you messed up an anchor, go back and redo it right away. Because if you decided 20 anchors down the line that you messed up, you might only be able to undo like 15 of those anchors. So just keep that in mind. Now, this is where it gets kind of easier, right? We have a circle. Now, typically what I would do is I would bring it down to the 9 o'clock and then go across to the 3 and bring it down. Because we're not going a full circle. We're doing basically half a circle and then some. So what I do for a corner like this, though, is you can usually probably get it done by just clicking down here, but I'm not gonna do that just because I want to demonstrate to you what I was talking about with the circles. All right, so drag this out. So now we're at the 6 o'clock. Our last anchor is at the 6. We're going to go directly across to the 3. So wherever you're at. Now, if you hold the shift key when you place an anchor, it'll do it in a straight line, by the way. That'll work with also the shape tool. Now, we have a straight line across. We just want to bring it down. So let's find the middle or the rough middle. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then Command, and then drag down. And then take these wings, Command, drag to the left. Command, drag to the right. To the left. Damn, my directions are messed up and shit today. Now you got to be careful with these wings too, because like I said, sometimes you'll get your like right side lined up, only for the left side to get manipulated by whatever you were doing. So if you notice that happening, just find out what direction it happens in and don't go that direction. So like right now, I know that left and if I go to the right, I'll bring this up. But if I go up or down, it's gonna completely skew it. So I gotta take an anchor point and just make another one here, and then just drag that in and try to smooth it out, which I'm gonna do right here. By smoothing it out, I mean just messing with these wings. That's really all it is. Just messing with these fucking. It's all, and honestly, it's one of the most frustrating parts of it is these wings. I don't like it because I'm still working out like how the mechanics work of them, but that actually looks great. Perfect. Although there is that issue. Okay, anchors, anchors, anchors. Okay, here we go. Now we're good. All right. So now we're just tracing around, trying to get all these spots. So for these jagged parts, right? I'm not rounding those out. I'm just following the dark pixels for this stuff because it's just there's no sense in trying to like clean out all those crazy corners. Now the more like detailed stuff, obviously, you know, but stuff that isn't like as crazy detailed, just rough select it. Like for example, I can't watch TV commercials like that anymore because like I just think about how they made the shot. I'm like, how they edit that, how they do that, and I'll think about it. Or I'm like, hey, look at that text drop shadow, look at the outer glow, look at the stroke, and nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, so now we're back onto the circles. Once again, I'm gonna go to the 9 o'clock position. I'm gonna go to okay, so we're at the 9. Now we're gonna come straight over to the 6. I mean to the 3. Yeah, cut me some slack here. It's 4:30 in the morning. All right, we're good. We're okay. We're across the lens. Now we're gonna come down to the middle. Okay, control, click. All right, now let's just fix this guy up. There we go. Fix this guy up. So you can see with this one, I'm just gonna bring him to the right a little bit. And then this side's probably going to be the same thing. And it's probably not going to mess with the other side as much because it's pretty flat. Okay, here we go. Bam. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to come in here and just... Okay. All right, next on to the next spot. Yeah, you basically, this is what we're going to do for the entire thing. So I'm going to fast forward through this. All right, so now we have our selections, and once you connect the first dot of your anchor and the last anchor, it'll turn blue like this. So as you can see here, if we zoom out, look at all those anchors. Doesn't it look so pretty? Like a constellation of heartache. These are all our anchors. And then once we have them selected, now we can just right click, make selection. We're not going to feather it. And look at that. we now have our goggles cut out. All right, go to the selection tool and right click, and then, okay, it's already a select. What am I doing? Layer via copy. Once it's selected, layer via copy. Now, if you look, we now have just the goggles, which is cool. So now we can do things. So like I said, why would you want to do that? Well, let's just say here, right? We have our font, looks good. It looks, but how can it look better? Well, let's just see. What if we put it behind the goggles? So let's put it under the goggles. So let's go over to the layer panel, and you see here, I'm going to take the phantom layer and just drag it right below layer 1, which is the goggles. And now look at that. Doesn't that look so much better? Like, that alone is enough. But it can really make a project completely stand out and look a lot more crisp, and nice. And then also, right, since it's over the font, right click your goggles layer, go to blending options, and then go to drop shadow. You can see it added it. It doesn't look good right now, but it will. So size, you want to bring down the distance. You don't want it crazy. See what I mean? Like, it can get far out like that. So you want just enough of a shadow for people to realize that it's over it. All right? So you might want to drop the opacity a little bit. Just enough to give it some depth. Right? So right there. So now, without the shadow, with the shadow, without the shadow, with the shadow. Looks better. You can clean it up a little bit, but, just like little stuff like that. And then we're good. And now, we can move on to the next part. But that's pen tool, all right? It's not hard. It's a little intimidating. I'll probably have some more clips in the future about pen tool, because there's a lot of stuff with pen tool I haven't even touched on, to be honest with you. So if you have any suggestions for tutorials, let me know. I'm going to try and make them as often as I can, Thanks for watching, and RIP to those who killed themselves using pen tool.